that lets you save.
You can decide, regardless of what's going on, you can fuel the fire of negativity. You can attract more of those types of people in your life, or you could try to find a positive mindset, a positive aspect.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in, for being a part of our True Form Life community. We're coming at you with a brand new show. We appreciate whether you're listening on terrestrial radio across the country or as a podcast around the world. We certainly wouldn't be here without you. So stick around. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
Today I'm going to talk about positivity, surrounding yourself with positiveness. And that's it. That's what I think that's going to be a good topic. I think we could all use some positive conversations. So that's going to be our main topic today. You know, it's funny, like these shows are always, they're not planned specifically. I don't have specific subtopics. I have a theme that I want to discuss or usually want to talk about. And the show is natural, it's organic, it goes wherever it goes. I do want to talk about positivity, and I've talked about environment in the past, but it was a really challenging month for a lot of people. Last month was I don't even know what month it is. May, April, no. It was March. March was and I hear it like from a ton of people that March was a tough month, and it wasn't just nutrition, it wasn't just fitness, it wasn't just jobs and environment and the economy and announcements. It was so many things put together. You know what's funny? Those people in our fitness family, we know when people are kind of falling off a bit. So I'll go and message individuals. Like that's what we do. We offer accountability, we offer support. So in most cases, if you're not saying anything, if you're not showing up for workouts, we do live workouts twice a week. And then Dorothy does a live workshop, nutrition or cooking with Dorothy, every Monday night. So if people aren't showing up to those kind of things, we know, in most cases, we know people kind of falling off a bit. They need some help getting going. So I'll message people. I'll be like, hey, how you doing? Haven't seen you. Haven't seen a post. And then often people don't answer. It's so funny. It's like, is it an accountability check? They know it's accountability check. I know it's accountability check. And then it's like, you know, when you watch those like movies like Jurassic Park or some like scary movie, and they're like, don't move. If you don't move, they won't see me. So I'm not like, I used to get offended, and I'm getting better at it. I'm not so much offended. I think it's polite to respond, but I also think it's entertaining when people like, you're like, hey, how you doing? I just want to offer a little bit of extra support. No, I know I haven't seen you in the group, just for an example. And they're like, no response. I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry, we're still here. And then it could be like, they may answer, or we may catch them in the group. And it's, and we just have a regular conversation. It's not like nobody's upset or like I'm not that offended. I'm just like, we both know what's going on. So you could say what's going on. So, you know what I think is a really cool thing, and I'd like to do like some type of challenge just to open people's eyes a bit. But if you put like chopped up veggies, and I know this doesn't sound as great as, you know, when I was growing up, my grandma often, she would have like a little bowl of chips on the table. I love chips. I'm a chip fanatic. So we'd sit at the table and I'd eat the chips, and then grandma would often refill the chip bowl. But, and don't get me wrong, there was fruit. I would always eat fruit. There's always other stuff, but there was chips. And then she had like a little candy dish. I think that's just normal for a lot of people. So, but what if you flip the script just a little bit? And what if you had a bowl of chopped veggies? Crazy, right? And people are like, no one's going to touch the chopped veggies. But I'm telling you, or even chopped fruit. And I know there's some people aren't like fruit people or veggie people, but if you chop them up and if you make it convenient, one of the things that I like, they chop up cucumber and then they squeeze the lemon or lime, and then salt or like a special salt. The special salt probably isn't all that clean. But if you sprinkle some salt on there and you put it on the table, everyone eats it. The kids, gone. So if you make it more convenient, people, including yourself, will go and grab something. And you won't even think about it. Like if you put a bowl of strawberries and blueberries, the kids are on the table. The kids are going to eat it. But instead we put candies, Cadbury Easter eggs, and of course they're going to eat those. Chili powder, that's so good. Didn't they sell them on the streets? Did they sell that on the street in Huntington Park? I think that was the first place I saw it in LA. And they would push carts around and they would sell tamales, they would sell corn on a stick, they would sell cucumbers in a dish. They would walk up and down the street. So they would just walk right by the house and be like, hey, can I get one of those? It was so cool. Like, no one does that. I think that'd be awesome if they actually would bring food around the neighborhoods. And because I grew up with just an ice cream truck. The only thing that came by your house was an ice cream truck. Well, these guys have all kinds of different food coming by their house. I don't know why. I've never seen that. I've lived all over the place. I've lived all over the U.S. I've only lived in Alberta, in Canada, all over the U.S. and overseas, and I've only seen that in that neighborhood in LA. But could you imagine doing that here, Dave, with all the money people have? People throw stuff away here. They throw furniture. I found a whole jar of coins. Someone was moving out and didn't want to do anything with the coins. And I was like, I'll take that. He's throwing away money. I'm going to open up a new business and just walk down the street with food and drinks and see if people will buy. Oh my gosh. Okay, what a day. Every time I throw out food, I feel guilty. Yeah, that's tough. But what about, you have to wait. But you have to wait. So, A, you could not buy it. And I don't think you're going to do that. And then, so B, you could consider the guilt for yourself and others that are eating things that don't make them feel good. So let's say you said you ate 50 pounds of chocolate over Easter. That probably doesn't make you feel good. So you have to weigh does it make me feel worse to throw it away or to eat it or to give it away or let other people eat it? I don't know. That could be an option. But then you're putting that onus on somebody else. Here, it's your problem now. So you could either not buy it or try to get past that guilt or you could put it in the freezer. That's something that Dorothy and I would do. Like if we know we have treats or people are giving away some, or it doesn't happen so often anymore, but you go to a friend's, they give you dessert, then you put in the freezer. Like you have your slice, you put in the freezer, and then it's out of sight, out of mind. And then you're like, hey, do you remember that thing? And often it's so old, it's freezer burned and gone bad, so you have to throw it away. Or you pull it out, and then you have one slice, and then you put it back in the freezer. So it's not every single day. It's so difficult to avoid those temptations every day. That's the problem with Easter, Christmas, holidays, vacations, birthdays. They never end. There's always something. And if we don't put an end to it immediately, then it's going to drag on. So that Easter, I don't know what's coming up next. That Easter could drag into the next holiday, if you will. The fruit trucks in Sri Lanka were amazing. And you know what the thing is that their fruit literally came off the tree. So it was a tree, it was a fruit plantation of some kind. So we went by papayas, for example, and we're driving down the road, and there's a fruit plantation there, and then there's a stand on the road, and then there's a family there selling the fruit. So they go and they chop it off the tree and put it on their table. It doesn't come from the other side of the world. it's not, and don't get me wrong, I don't know if they spray or what they spray with or what their seeds are like. I don't know those specific details, but I'll tell you that it's a whole lot cleaner. Like, for example, they spray bananas so they don't ripen so quickly. So they pick them green, for example, so then all the sugars aren't abundant, let's say. And then they spray them so they don't ripen so quickly, because if they ripen too quickly, they'll go bad and they have to throw them away, they'll lose money. So they pick them green, they spray them, then they ship them across the country. and then we wait for them to ripen, and then those chemicals that they're spraying with, and then they don't taste as good because they were picked earlier. That was something that Shirley, so Dawn from Shirley's Greenhouse, she explained that to us, and she said, we're like, well, why do your tomatoes taste so great? And she said, because we're one of the few people that pick them when they're ripe. In most cases, you pick tomatoes when they're still green or when they're not ripe, and then they ship them. So she said that they pick them when they're ripe. So all the sugars are there, they're 100% ripe, they're ready to go. And if they go bad, and some do, then they try to give them away, they donate them, they discount them. But that's what people don't want, is they don't want to pick them when they're ripe because they have a shorter lifespan. But they taste much better because they're still on the vine, and the vine is still giving them the nutrients for a longer period of time, so they taste better. That's the same thing with fruit. So when we were in Sri Lanka, we were literally pulling things off trees, and then they would sell them. The bananas, my gosh. Morning, Casey. The bananas in Sri Lanka, I would eat like 6 a day. At least. I remember we pulled over, and I told the driver, we were driving we had like a van. And I was like, yeah, I got to get a papaya. My mouth was like watering. I saw these papayas. And these guys, I had a blue mohawk, and these guys were coming over, and we were taking pictures. And they probably don't see people with our skin color very often. We were in the jungle. We went to tourist places, but we stayed in the jungle, and we stayed in like a remote area. It wasn't like hotels or touristy. And so they thought we were like celebrities, or they treated us like celebrities, which is kind of funny. And we were taking pictures, and they brought their whole family. There's like 2 or 3 at the table, and they're like yelling for their friends and family to come. This one time, this isn't a joke. This one time we went in this little village, and this guy, so this little kid, we were playing cricket. You wouldn't even believe this. This is like it's like the Field of Dreams, if you guys ever seen that movie with Kevin Costner. If you build it, they will come. We're in the jungle, literally in the jungle. And you walk up this hill, and there's this little school I say in the woods, but it's not woody. It's whatever they have. Bamboo. They don't have bamboo. Whatever their trees are, they have giant jackfruit trees, and the trees are huge, and the jackfruits grow like this, organically, like this. In most cases at the grocery store, when you see those big giant peppers, that's a GMO crop. These ones are growing naturally in the jungle, just hanging off the trees. It was crazy. So anyways, you climb up this hill, there's a little school there, and there's trees and green, and then there's this opening, and it's this big cricket field. It's like the Field of Dreams for cricket. So that's the tiniest school ever. Dorothy did want to teach there. Dorothy's like, I could just teach here and we could live in the jungle. And I'm like, no, Dorothy. I don't want to live in the jungle. Mom, maybe now. Can I change my mind? Now how everything is? How crazy everything is. Dorothy and I are like, let's go back to the jungle. We're not coming out. But yeah, that was a really cool experience. Oh, when people are giving stuff away, people are throwing stuff away. When we moved here, we didn't have anything. I mean, talking about our LA place, we had nothing. This place was bare. We were sitting on nothing. We were sitting on the floor. We slept on the floor for 2 months. And Dorothy's like, I'm not sleeping on the floor anymore. And people here, like, they just give away stuff. They throw stuff out. They put it on the curb. So we got a bunch of stuff. Like these couches. We got really nice leather couches from the neighbor. He's just going to leave them on the curb. And I said, hey, are you using those? Are you taking those? Because he was moving. He had a big moving truck. And he's like, nah, I don't have any room. And I was like, can I have them? We got a chair on the balcony from another neighbor. It's always nice to know when people get their stuff. And it's also nice when we have a lot of people pick up, which is nice. We have a lot of support from our community, and many people are close enough to pick up. So it's quite simple. It works really well. and Dorothy will put the packages together. I'll take the orders, and then I tell Dorothy. Dorothy puts the packages together. And then now she's been putting names on, because unfortunately people don't always look at their packages. They're like, oh, and we have a box out front. It's a really nice box. So in front of the house in Olds, we put packages in the box, and people just go and grab their package and leave. So I have to arrange the pickup times. It's really nice when people come when they say they're going to come, because otherwise we got to bring it in and bring it back out. And then I got to send another message, hey, you still coming? Or rearrange another time. So it's nice when people just go and grab it when they say they're going to grab it and gone. And then it's also nice when people say, hey, I got my package, thank you. Other words, I'm like, I wonder if they picked it up. And then yesterday or the day before, the box was full, so we couldn't put all the packages out. So I was like, well, I hope these people come and get all theirs so we can fill it back up the next day. But it's been working out really well. And everyone is, for the most part, everyone's patient and understanding. And I feel like it's important to share your opinion in a professional and proper manner. And I also feel like there's nothing, like, you should be able to speak your mind without people putting you down for it. Everyone should have their own opinion. Everyone should be able to share their opinion. And it's a really difficult time right now, especially in Alberta, where most of you are watching from. In Canada, it's a struggle right now, which is really crazy because it's the exact opposite here in LA. Everything is opening up and people are happier and excited, and Disneyland's opening up, Dodger Stadium's opening up, and it's the opposite in Canada right now. So I know it's a very difficult situation. I just think, and what I'm trying to relay is that I think there's a proper way to go about things, and there's not such a proper way. And if you share your opinion, I feel like you should be able to share your opinion without being put down about it. And it's just it's so challenging right now because there's so much anger and there's so much frustration, and I understand that and I feel that. I'm on the same page. But I shared something, how I felt, and then someone said a bunch of verbally vomited on one of my posts, and all I did was, I didn't put any time or energy into it. All I did was hide their post so no one else could read it, and then I blocked them. And I've done it many times in the past. I have a long list of people that I've blocked because I don't put up with that. But it's so interesting to me that people feel like they can go in someone else's space and they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want. It's like they don't know that they can be blocked or restricted. So, and this is one of the topics I wanted to discuss today, is that it's a difficult subject to talk about because there's so much anger and there's so much frustration, and most of that is fear-based. I'm not even saying that your emotions are incorrect or wrong. Everyone is right whatever their standpoint is. They feel like they're right, but to go about it in a better way and understand, like, if you don't, oh no, you're going to block me. No, I'm not going to block you then. Don't worry about it. Keep it coming. Let's see what you got. No, but what I'm saying is that if someone says something, I feel like sometimes we welcome drama and we welcome that anger and we encourage that, and that's not to say that you shouldn't voice your opinion. I think we should. And that's not to say that whatever you stand for, you should protect. I'm trying to be as politically correct here as possible, because the only reason is because I don't want this page or this conversation to turn into something negative, because we have too much negativity already. We need to find some positivity in this world right now, especially depending on where you live. But so if you want that drama, if you welcome that drama, then open up a conversation with someone, and then you can, if you want to do it openly on social media, then you can go back and forth. But understand you're welcoming more drama and you're welcoming more negativity. And also understand that some people love that. I've come across a handful of people in my life that they love that drama in their life. They look for it. And if you offer that to them, even for a short period of time, they're going to ask for it. They're going to welcome it, and they're going to encourage it. They want more of it. They have a very negative state of mind. And I'd imagine, well, I can tell you for a fact, at least some of the people I've come into, their whole environment was very negative. People hide behind their keyboards and think they can say anything, but it's true. But the thing is that you don't have to participate if you don't want to. So if someone says something, it's like some people don't realize that you can block them or restrict them. So for me, it's like if someone comes into my space and they start to say things that I don't agree with, it's fine as long as it's done in a professional adult type of manner. If it's quite immature and they're just spewing things out, I'm not going to participate in that. And all I do is end the conversation and I'll block them and I'll never hear from them again. And if they come to one of my other platforms, you can block them too. It's very simple. I just think that it's challenging to not participate, especially when there's so much emotion. But you have to understand that you are either encouraging those conversations or you're not. There's only two sides there. You're either encouraging, and I suppose some people are saying, well, we need to encourage these conversations, which is fine. But I think there are specific places that you can go. There's specific groups, there's specific conversations that you can go to have those conversations, to have those debates. But if you don't want to participate in those things, you don't have to. And I just think it's a really challenging place to be right now because it's easy to lose ourselves. It's easy to lose ourselves in the emotion. It's easy to, I don't know what they say, fall down that rabbit hole, and it's endless. And I'm telling you from my own experience over the last few days, earlier this week, I was like, I got myself mixed up and I almost I did lose myself for a moment, for a couple of days. And I was like doing some research and I joined in some conversations that I probably shouldn't have. And I wasn't like angry. I wasn't going on other people's pages and telling them what I think about them. We don't know what it's like being in anyone's shoes. You don't know what it's like being in anyone else's shoes but your own. You don't know what it's like being a business owner's shoes if you're not a business owner. You don't know what it's like being a customer if you're not one of their customers, for example. I could go down the line, but we don't know what it's like. And I think it's really hard to look at other people's perspectives and other people's sides. And don't get me wrong, I have very strong beliefs and very strong feelings, but I feel like there's a time and place for them. And it's important to go towards the people that you relate to so you can have those conversations and so you can feel more secure and so you're not constantly attacked and you're not constantly bombarded with negativity. And like I said, some people like that drama. They want that drama. And if you want that, if you're that type of person, then I'm not even telling you not to do it. Just go to that place and do it. Go to that place where you can vent and you can be angry and you can express your frustration if you want. I don't know if that's going to be positive for yourself. And like I said, I'm right now while I'm saying this, I'm trying to think of different people that have a very strong standpoint on one side and the other side. So the division is challenging for me. We've been divided. We've been divided for many different reasons and different purposes, and it's family and friends and it's our communities. And I feel like we have to find a way to come together. And that's the only thing that's going to change this. Anything could happen. Like absolutely anything could happen in this world, but it's how you react to a situation is what changes it. So if you want to make a difference and you want to change, you can react one way or you can react another way. I just don't know if there's just certain ways that aren't going to improve anything. They're not going to help anything. They're only going to cause fuel to the fire. And there's so many things that I don't understand either. Don't understand why things are happening in this world. I don't understand them. I think that's probably the most challenging part for a lot of people, because people will come to me and they'll say, what's happening with this? What's going on with that? And how do you feel about that? And I just say, everyone has a different idea. Everyone has a different perspective. And I'm not even saying one's right or wrong. I'm just saying that you can decide to contribute. You can decide to contribute negatively, or you could find a way to spin it positively. You could find a way to shine light. You could find a way to cast shadows. There's always a choice. It doesn't matter what happens. You can always choose. So if I could reach out to at least our community here, and I'm not saying don't participate. I'm not saying don't post, don't share what you believe in. all I'm saying is that if you don't appreciate what someone's saying, you can either scroll past it or you can unfollow them. It's very simple. Or you could jump into a conversation that's going to ruin your next 3 days. And maybe you want that. If you want that, then enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can, because I'm hoping the negativity won't last. At least I hope that. And it's interesting because I know some people will be attracted to that negativity and they look for it. They search for it. So I've said this many times before, like when customers come to us, we already know if they're our type of people. We already know if they have a negative type of mindset. We already know if they're going to start complaining or if they're our people or if they're not. We know. So we choose the people. We choose our customers. We choose the people we want to spend more time with. If I know someone is genuine and they're positive and they really want some help, I'll spend more time with them. If I know someone's coming to me just to complain or just to rant or just telling me about my prices are too high, then I'm not going to spend a lot of time with them. I'm going to say, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Maybe try this option. That's probably better for you. So what I'm saying here is that you can decide, regardless of what's going on, you can fuel the fire of negativity. You can attract more of those types of people in your life, or you could try to find a positive mindset, a positive aspect. And that's either way. And like I said, we all know very clearly that there is division. You could choose either side. Yes, unfortunately, there's sides. You can choose either way to what you believe in or what you want to go about it, or how you want to go about it. Either way could be positive or it could be negative. So all I'm asking here is that consider the positive. And is that taking you closer to your dreams and goals and aspirations? And I felt like it was a slippery slope for myself personally to go down a negative path. And then I just kind of had to snap myself out of it. And I was like, you know what? That's not me. That's not my personality. That's not the type of person I am. And that's not going to take me any closer to the direction I want to go. It'll only take me further away. So you make that decision for yourself. And I hope that you guys make the right decision. And whatever is right for you, that's your decision. It's not anyone else's to decide. So that's what I have for you. That's what I have for you all this morning. So we also talked about treats. Does anyone know what holiday is coming up next? We talked about briefly about making better choices. And let's say if it was a holiday or a weekend or a birthday, if that ends, once that ends, try to move on. Don't let that hang on forever or for weeks to come. And then what else did I have for you? I think that's it. Oh, Mother's Day's coming up. So Mother's Day's coming up. Of course, I should know Mother's Day's. So when Mother's Day comes up, maybe you get some flowers, maybe you got some chocolate, maybe you get some chocolate cake. But then after that weekend is over, we're going to end it this time. We're going to end the chocolates. We're going to end the cake on the table. And then we're going to move on and get back to our regular lifestyle of living healthy. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you can find some sunshine today. I hope you can find some ability to share some light and attract some positivity in your life. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch up with you guys another time. Take care.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body. Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is TrueFormLife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at TrueFormLife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with Trueform Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.